Hey y'all, welcome back to Kenny's Kantina, eating in style on the road. Well, we finally got some measurable snow here in the Philly area. I got about 3 inches, but down at the Jersey Shore, they got 13 inches. The snow's pretty around the RV park, but don't worry, I'm staying warm and toasty in the RV. So on the snow day, since I was stuck inside, I started the day with my breakfast tacos from Season 1, Episode 2, and a Bloody Mary. Dinner that night was my meatloaf. Oh, it is so good. And I'll share this recipe with you later in the season, so keep an eye out for that. So my spring semester has started and I'm back in the classroom. I've been making my students hungry at the start of each class by showing them my latest Facebook and Instagram posts. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram so you can see what I'm tantalizing my students with. Now let's get cooking. Who hasn't been to a Chinese buffet and loaded up on some sesame chicken? Sesame chicken is one of those dishes that tastes so good. My recipe will have you recreating that great restaurant taste in your own kitchen. You get that sweetness mixed with a little heat and the great flavor of toasted sesame. Now here in the United States, our Chinese food is not traditional and won't be found in China. However, we Americans love our Americanized Chinese food, and you can find all-you-can-eat buffets all over the place. Chinese immigrants found that Americans weren't ready for their authentic dishes and preferred a sweeter taste than what is found in China. And it's hard to find much information on the actual origins of sesame chicken, but the closest I found was it became popular during the 1970s. Now, American Chinese food uses a lot of cornstarch and sugar to get the sweetness that Americans like. In my dish, I use cornstarch and honey. So it may not be authentic Chinese food, but it's still great tasting. Let's whip up some sesame chicken. Now, prep time for this is about 15 minutes and figure your cooking time about 30 minutes. And what I'm preparing today will serve 4 to 6. Now, you can store this in your refrigerator for a week, but I wouldn't recommend freezing it. Ingredients to start off for the breaded chicken, we're going to need 2 to 3 boneless chicken breasts, 10 tablespoons of flour, a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of black pepper, half teaspoon of garlic powder, half teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 6 tablespoons cornstarch, 2 beaten eggs, and 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. For the sauce, you're going to want 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 2 cloves minced garlic, 1 tablespoon rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, and 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then to garnish this, you're going to want 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds and a bunch of green onions diced. All right, let's start preparing. So first off, I'm going to dice the green onions. And let me get this going here. All right, and let me set that aside. Now I'm keeping just the green part of that rather than doing the white part because I'm looking for the color in a garnish. Next, we're going to mince garlic. Set that aside. Now I chop these first so that I don't get cross-contamination with the raw chicken. You can also use a separate cutting boards. Now I don't want anybody to get sick out there. So I've transferred those to a bowl and let's get chopping the chicken. So I'm going to slice it down. And you want this in bite-sized pieces so that you can eat those with chopsticks. Always something fun to do. All right, let me put that in a bowl. Okay, next off, I'm going to take a little bowl and add my flour to it. And then I'm going to take my salt, add that to it, my pepper, that in it, the garlic powder, and the onion powder, now the paprika. And I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch and add that to the bowl. And then let me take my whisk and I'm going to mix that up real good. This gives a the chicken a nice little seasoning in that flour, in the breading. Now I'm going to take another bowl and measure out the remaining 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. Set that aside. And then let's get one more bowl. And I'm going to crack the eggs. And then I'm going to take a fork and I'm just going to lightly beat this. That's good. Now I'm going to go ahead and I have a wok. You can always use a deep frying pan for this. But I'm going to put the oil in from the wok. But don't turn it on yet. It heats up really quick, so I'm not quite ready, but I'm getting the oil ready. Now I'm going to set up a working station, and I'm going to line the cornstarch, the egg bat, and the spiced flour. And this will help you get to be organized when you're breading the chicken. The other thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on a plastic glove, keep my hand clean. I keep a box of these around. They do come in handy. And what I'm going to do now is take some of the chicken and fluff it into the cornstarch, move over, dip it in the egg bath, and then toss that in the spiced flour, and then just keep repeating that. And I use the same process when I make chicken fried steak or fried shrimp or even fried chicken or fried fish, whatever you're frying. This is a good way to do it. And I'm going to work through all the chicken here. Fluff that up and mix it up so that I can cook it all at once I get it done. Now let me take off my glove and get my oil heating. And this doesn't take too long. That's one thing. Woks heat the oil really quick. And then once that oil is hot, drop a little bit of flour in it. Not quite hot yet. Getting there. Yeah, you want to fry it pretty quick, so you want a hot oil. Okay, that's getting better. All right. So now let me start putting the chicken in. Let's see. All right, it's getting frying, and I'm going to take tongs, and as I'm putting that in, I'm tossing it around. All right, I'm going to cook this until it's golden brown, and what I'm doing is I'm only going to cook like half a batch at a time. I don't want to overload the wok and the oil. It smells good already. It doesn't take that long to cook, only about 3 or 4 minutes. So while that's finishing up, I'm going to take a larger bowl and put some paper towels in it to hold the grease. Okay. Oh, that's getting nice and golden brown. It looks so pretty. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring those out, kind of shake them off before I do and put it on the bowl. And get that out. Let me take my next batch and throw that in. Yeah, that oil's really heating up now. This isn't taking any time at all. Okay, looking good. All right, let me take that chicken out. I'm going to put another paper towel on top of the chicken that's already there to catch that grease off of the new batch. Okay, that's all out. Now, let me go ahead and turn the wok off. Because that gets so hot, I don't want it to start burning, and I'm going to add the sauce ingredients right to the oil. So I don't want it to burn until I'm ready to mix it all up. So let's add the sesame oil to the wok. And that chopped garlic that I had, the minced garlic. Add the rice vinegar. And then the honey. That's going to provide us some sweetness. And the sweet chili sauce. This gives us a little spicy hot and a little sweetness. And then the ketchup. And I know ketchup sounds strange, but it's really good in this. And it just gives it a little more sweetness, the sugar from the ketchup. And then I'm going to take my soy sauce and add that. And let me turn the wok back on. And this will just take a minute to heat back up. And I'm going to take a wooden spoon and kind of stir and mix all that up. And wait, and you'll see the sauce start to bubble. Right, I don't want to overcook it here. So when it starts to bubbling, which it's getting that now, and take it the max about 3 minutes to come to a boil. And then let's take the chicken and let me put all of it in. Let me take my tongs. I'm going to put all that chicken in and then just kind of get it all good and covered with the sauce. And this won't take any time at all. You don't want to have that chicken keep cooking and burn your breading. All right, that's good. Now let me Transfer the chicken over to a serving plate, or you can use a bowl if you'd like. And turn off that wok. Don't want to start a fire over there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half the sesame seeds and put it over the top of the chicken and take my tongs and kind of toss that so it gets covered. And then I'm going to take the other half and sprinkle that on top. This will give you a nice appearance of those sesame seeds. And let me take the green onions and sprinkle that over the top of the dish. And you are ready to serve and enjoy. Now, in serving this, I like to serve it with steamed rice. And another thing that I do is I'll also serve it with fried green beans. And this is easy to incorporate in the process. It throws some fresh green beans into the oil, add some minced garlic, and then some soy sauce, and then fry that up, kind of tossing it for 3 or 4 minutes. And the green beans come out really good. They make a great side to the sesame chicken. Now, also for serving, you can also heat up some crab and cheese rangoon or egg rolls from a frozen box just to save time of making them from scratch. And then serve it with my yum yum sauce and soy sauce and the sweet chili sauce. And you have a great appetizer or other side dish to go with your sesame chicken. I've got all my sesame chicken plated now and my chopsticks in hand. Let me give this a taste. That is so good. It's not overly sweet and not too spicy, but oh, what a flavor. And man, the toasted sesame seeds really make this dish pop. You're going to love this. My tasters loved it too. One said it tasted like it came from a restaurant. That's a pretty good compliment, I think. Now, some tips on this. Prepare the green onions and garlic prior to cutting the chicken. This is for food safety. If you are using the same cutting board, or use separate cutting boards. And don't heat the oil in the wok until the chicken is ready to go in. The oil heats up really quickly and you don't want to have it burn. And for the same reason, turn off the heat to the wok prior to adding the sauce ingredients. Now, I like to put on a kitchen glove when I'm breading the chicken. It's just neater. I hope you enjoyed cooking sesame chicken with me today. You're going to love this dish. Your guests and family will also enjoy it. And I want to thank Lucille for being my photographer for this episode and for enjoying a wonderful meal together. Also, thanks to Kathy, Molly, and Ranson for being tasters of my leftovers at work. Now it's time to get to the mail. I love this part of the show. Today's questions are on my mom's cheese ball, and I had several questions from around the world, and I've chosen a few to discuss them with you today. Let's start off with David from Illinois, who wants to know, would you say that store-bought cheese ball is more cost-efficient than that of your homemade version? David, thanks for the question. I did some market research and did some calculations. Here's what I came up with. In my local grocery store, a 10-ounce sharp cheddar cheese ball sells for $3.99 or the equivalent of $6.38 a pound. Now, the ingredients for my cheese ball recipe cost approximately a total of $12.50. And the recipe, there's 1.8125 pounds total of cheese ball for the recipe. If we divide that $12.50 by the 1.8125, we get $6.90 per pound. So my cheese ball recipe is slightly higher than the $6.38 per pound store-bought cheese ball. But I can tell you the 52 cents per pound premium is more than made up for by the taste and flavor found in my mom's recipe. So thanks for the question, David. It was fun to run the calculations. Next, we go to Patricia from Maine, who asks, can you tell me if your cheese ball is the same flavor as cheese curls? I asked because I was thinking of bringing them to my preschool for the kids to snack on. Hi, Patricia. This is an interesting question. My mom's cheese ball is very different in taste and texture than cheese curls. Based on my experience with young nephews and nieces over the years, I will say that young children like the flavor of my mom's cheese ball. Now for preschoolers, you will need to pre-spread the cheese ball onto crackers before serving them. Another option would be to roll the cheese balls into small bite-sized balls so that they can easily pop them in their mouths or place them on a cracker. Now, using the cheese ball over cheese curls solves another issue in that the preschoolers won't have orange hands when they finish their snack. So thanks, Patricia, for your question. Now, here's an interesting one from Jennifer in Wisconsin who asks, my 9-year-old daughter asked me, Mom, why is cream cheese called cream cheese if there's no cheese in it? Wow, I was taken back by her young insight, but I didn't have the answer. So, Mr. Kinney, how about letting us in on it? What's the answer? Jennifer, this sounds like a challenge to me. All cheeses have milk as a basic ingredient in producing cheese. This can be cow's milk, goat's milk, or sheep's milk. Cream cheese, as we know it, has its roots in France. Neuchâtel cheese has been around in France since the 6th century. And Neuchâtel has a mild flavor and is spreadable. And usually it's served in a heart shape. Now let's jump several centuries to William Lawrence, who began large-scale production of Neuchâtel cheese in the U.S. in 1872. In 1875, after being approached by the grocery firm Park and Tilford, who wanted a creamier product, Lawrence created a cheese product that added cream to the Neuchâtel cheese. This new cheese was richer and had more flavor than the traditional Neuchâtel cheese due to the added fat that he added in with the cream. That new cheese product was sold under the brand name Philadelphia Cream Cheese. Now, Kraft Foods is still selling Lawrence's creation under the Philadelphia Cream Cheese brand. So, Jennifer, thanks to your daughter for her insightful question and the chance for me to dig into some history. Now let's go to Shirley from California, who wants to know, do you have any idea of how many calories per serving in your cheese ball recipe? I love yours and tried it, but I really want to keep my New Year's resolution intact and not overdo it. Hey, Shirley, I appreciate wanting to stick to your New Year resolution. I'm always trying to eat and exercise better. It doesn't always work, but I'm trying. Now, this is a chance for me to do some more math. I looked up the calories for each ingredient in the cheese ball. I get a total calorie count for the recipe of 3,044 calories. Now, there are a total of 29 ounces in my mom's cheese ball recipe. So if I divide the 3,044 total calories by 29 ounces, I get about 105 calories per ounce. Now, this amount is comparable to a 1-ounce slice of cheddar cheese. So, Shirley, I hope this gives you some guidance for enjoying the cheese ball. Now, as a kid, Mom only made it at holidays, so I wasn't really counting calories at that time. All right. Thanks to everyone who submitted questions and comments. I definitely appreciate the feedback. Please keep submitting them. Now, next show, I'll be showing you how to make refried beans. Refried beans are a traditional Mexican side dish served with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It can also be used to make several main course dishes. Now, my recipe is an easy, quick way to doctor up a store-bought can of refried beans. It takes the taste of the refried beans to a whole nother level. My guests have been raving over my refried beans for years, and my tricks are simple, and your guests will be loving it too, so I'm going to share that with you. So y'all are great, and thanks for watching my show. You're the reason that I do what I do, so please keep watching. If you missed any of my previous shows, you can find them and my recipes at kennyscantina.com. And please check out and follow my Instagram at Kenny's Cantina and look for my Kenny's Cantina Facebook page. I post my cooking and travels in between shows in both places, and thanks again for watching. Oh, and don't forget to check out my last episode, Season 3, Episode 4, for my Hawaiian ham salad. Keep it in mind for a creative use of leftovers of your Easter ham or any time you cook ham. Also look back to my prior episodes when you're planning out a menu. Now, Kenny's Cantina would not be possible without the sponsorship and help of the Roadhogs Media Network and IBC Productions. So a big thanks to them. Thanks for watching, and see y'all on the road.